Hello and welcome to the Local Educational Agency, or LEA, CAHSEE Coordinator Training. I will give an overview of the coordinator's responsibilities so that you can ensure consistent, accurate, and secure administrations of the CAHSEE. Specifically, I will cover test security, which includes maintaining the security of materials and test site security audits, before testing, which includes scheduling, training site coordinators, receiving materials, conducting an inventory of test materials, and sending test materials to testing sites, during testing, which includes problem solving and communicating with sites and ETS, and after testing, which includes collecting of all test materials and returning the materials on time to ETS. Keeping CAHSEE test materials secure is one of the most important responsibilities of all LEA CAHSEE coordinators. You must read, agree to, sign, and return the CAHSEE test security agreement to ETS, which they will keep on file for at least 1 year. You must ensure that all test site coordinators return a signed CAHSEE test security agreement and affidavit to you, which you must keep on file for at least 1 year. Also, make sure anyone who has access to actual tests, including test site coordinators, examiners, proctors, and scribes, have signed the CAHSEE test security affidavit before they receive any test booklets. In addition, you're required to keep all test materials securely locked when they're not being used and maintain processes and procedures to prevent cheating and preserve the validity of the test. It is important to inform students before and during testing that if they are found cheating or to have compromised the security of the examination, their test results may be invalidated. Compromising the security of this examination includes the use of cell phones, electronic pagers, music players, and all other electronic devices during the test administration. If any of these devices are used, for example, to take pictures of CAHSEE test materials to post on social media websites, then test results may be invalidated and not scored. Staff from Educational Testing Service, ETS, the CAHSEE Administration Contractor, and Global Compliance Services, the subcontractor for security audits, will be conducting before testing, during testing, and after testing audits of LEA offices and testing sites. They will be assessing adherence to appropriate security procedures. Your cooperation is needed during these audits. Your responsibilities before testing are to notify parents and schedule testing, order and upload pre-ID files to CAHSEE online, train site coordinators, receive and inventory test materials, and send test materials to sites. LEA CAHSEE coordinators are required to notify parents annually, starting with grade 9 students, of the requirement to pass the CAHSEE as a condition of graduation, and to also notify parents of testing dates for which their students are eligible to take the test. Use CAHSEE online to update your LEA contact information, order test materials, order supplemental shipments, submit a pre-ID file, review or update an order, check the status of your order, make student demographic corrections, and to download student results. Once a year in July, the LEA CAHSEE Coordinator indicates on CAHSEE Online which grades in your LEA will test in which administrations. These dates must also be communicated to test sites. This information helps ETS estimate the amount of materials to print to ensure adequate quantities. About 6 weeks before testing, place your orders and upload pre-ID files. Be sure to check with all your schools for any students who will need to use special version test booklets or audio CDs. Request these materials in your initial order because they take longer to produce. We cannot guarantee that these materials will be available during supplemental orders. Remember to avoid over-ordering. It is important that you order the correct number of test booklets and answer documents for all your schools. Contact CAHSEE support if you need assistance. The project calendar on the ETS CAHSEE website shows the deadlines for the material order and pre-ID submissions. If you're submitting a pre-ID file with student demographic data into CAHSEE Online and you're not able to code all the demographic fields, complete the list of demographic fields required to be hand-marked for schools participating in the pre-ID service form. Provide this list as a handout for test site coordinators during training to give to test examiners at the testing sites. A late pre-ID label service is available for a fee with a deadline less than 3 weeks prior to each administration. Conduct test administration training sessions for all the test site coordinators in your LEA to ensure consistent, accurate, and secure handling of the materials. Use the test site coordinator responsibilities section of this video during the training. Let test site coordinators know what they must handmark on answer documents because the fields were not included in pre-ID. Also, emphasize the need for the accommodations and modifications to be offered to students with IEPs or Section 504 plans. A designated person must sign to indicate the accommodations and modifications were offered, and the accommodations or modifications actually used are marked. Train test site coordinators to inventory and track all test materials, to package test materials for each examiner before testing, and to sign materials in and out. Provide a handout for the test site coordinators that lists the important dates, including when they'll receive materials, administration test dates, and return dates. Please refer to the local educational agency and test site coordinators manual for other responsibilities you could cover in training. Also, identify students placed in non-public schools by IEP who need to test. Coordinate training examiners at non-public schools if needed. You will receive between 2 and 4 shipments of test materials starting 2 weeks before an administration. Immediately open the boxes and inventory their content. Shipment 1 contains non-secure testing materials, including a box for LEA CAHSEE coordinators that contains packing lists, a return packet, blank answer documents, and administration manuals. There is an orange label on the outside of the box that says District Coordinator Open Immediately. Shipment 2 contains secure testing materials such as test booklets. Make sure that you have received all the materials you ordered as listed on the packing list, including a 10% overage. Count and record the number of boxes and the security barcodes on the shrink wrap booklets on the LEA packing list and security tracking form. Reseal and sign the tape on boxes before shipping them to the testing sites. If more test materials are needed, contact the CAHSEE Support Center or the ETS CAHSEE website to place supplemental orders. Shipment 3 contains pre-ID answer documents if you submitted a pre-ID file. Shipment 4 contains late pre-ID labels if you submitted a late pre-ID label file. During testing, plan to serve as a liaison between test sites, CDE, and ETS to solve problems and distribute additional materials if needed. During testing, be available to handle all calls from testing sites. If you need answers about policies, contact CDE, or if you need answers about materials and logistics, contact ETS. Notify CDE and ETS immediately if there are any test security breaches. Fill out the Test Security Breach Report form and send it to the CDE and ETS. Specify the sections of the Test Security Agreement or Test Security Affidavit that have been violated. Fax the completed form to both ETS at 925-808-2156 and the CDE at 916-319-0962 or at CAHSEE at cde.ca.gov. After testing, your responsibilities include accounting for inventory and returning all answer documents, test booklets, and audio CDs, completing forms correctly, and calling UPS to schedule a pickup. Collect all materials from testing sites and inventory them. Using the test site packing list and security tracking form that was received from the test site coordinator, verify that all test booklets assigned to the test site have been returned to the LEA and that the form accurately records the number of booklets returned. For any missing booklet, verify that the missing booklet security barcode number is recorded on the form, and document the reason the booklet is missing with the test site coordinator. The LEA CAHSEE coordinator and the test site coordinator are required to account for all missing booklets. Make a copy for LEA files of each test site packing list and security tracking form completed by the test site coordinator. Follow up on any missing test booklets and document the reason the booklet is missing and efforts made to locate the booklet. Check that all answer documents have correct headers and no test booklets contain answer documents. If the CAHSEE Processing Center finds answer documents inside test booklets, additional charges could be applied to the LEA to have them scored. Complete the district packing list and security tracking form and attach all the test site packing list and security tracking forms on top of test booklets and other materials returned. Make sure boxes have the correct labels and are not overpacked. Blue labels are for scorable materials such as answer documents. Pink labels are for boxes of non-scorable materials such as test booklets and CDs. There are indicators for both test site and district box returns. Both should be completed accurately. Consolidate all boxes and fill in the district box returns section on the labels. You will receive UPS labels to be placed on each box of materials you're returning to the CAHSEE Processing Center. Account for all boxes and apply the return labels. Confirm that the designated CAHSEE color-coded label is in the lower right-hand corner on top of each box being returned. Place the appropriate pre-addressed UPS label to the immediate left of the designated color-coded label. Use the UPS labels marked Next Day Air for scorable materials. Use the UPS labels marked Ground for non-scorable materials. This information is located near the middle of the label. Call UPS to pick up your materials, 1-800-823-7459, or you can visit ups.com and select Schedule a Pickup from the shipping menu. Do not make alterations to the labels. UPS will not accept packages with altered labels. Do not photocopy the UPS label. UPS will not accept photocopied labels. If materials do not fit in the boxes provided, please try to consolidate materials into another larger conforming box. If you do not have a return label for each box, call the CAHSEE Support Center at 1-800-241-5687. If K2 is your designated carrier for returning scorable materials, the bill of lading will be provided in the return materials packet. K2 will contact you to schedule a pickup. Reference the project calendar on the ETS CAHSEE website for the materials return windows for each test administration. Use CAHSEE Online to make student demographic corrections and download student results when they're available. Thank you for your efforts in ensuring that CAHSEE runs smoothly and securely.